Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I wanted to give you guys an update inside of what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. Right now, we're at an important point. We're starting to see a shakeout taking place, and a lot of people are wondering if we're going to be going lower, or whether this is just going to be some short-term stuff before we ultimately see new all-time highs. On top of that, I'm also going to be sharing with you guys two of my favorite NFT cryptos as we venture closer towards the end of the cycle, because I fully expect we're going to see NFTs blow up in a huge way. And these are going to be two of my favorite picks as we get closer towards the end of the year. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 21,000 members growing. Links are going to be provided for you in the description for the people that want to join my community and sign up. On top of that, if you're new, just getting into these markets and you want extra educational content on how to be more profitable, make better decisions inside the crypto markets, links are also provided for you in the description to go ahead and check out and download my free ebook and beginner's guide to crypto. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty, guys. Now, before we actually jump into the Bitcoin analysis, I wanted to give you guys a quick little update on something that I've been working on. So I've actually been building an NFT project with a world famous artist named Miguel Paredes. I had him on the channel once in an interview, but this is actually getting closer and closer towards completion. And basically what this is it's going to be one of the world's first NFT cartoons. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be releasing these characters for mint. All of them are going to have random traits, some of them more rare, some of them less rare than others. And then we're actually going to be launching a cartoon directly after. Inside of that cartoon, each episode is going to be about 15 minutes. The first episode will release right after the launch of these NFTs when we do that. And so if you guys are interested in this, you guys can actually follow the Twitter right here. And then I also wanted to share with you guys the Discord server. This is going to be the most important thing to join. If you guys want all of the updates inside of what we're launching with this, you guys are going to be able to come in here and see that. We actually have an introduction of what the cartoon's going to look like. And so we're super excited to actually share with you guys this project. If you guys want to know who the artist actually is that I'm working with, Miguel Paredes, you know, he is a really famous artist. I mean, just on his Instagram, he has almost 600,000 followers. And so he is also, you know, known for a lot of different things inside of the art community, mainly because he's been around it for so long. His style, his art style, he really kind of pioneered that. Now it's something a lot of people practice as a whole. And so he's got so many different cool things that he's working on. He's an amazing person. So I wanted to give you guys this little update as a way to kind of share with you guys something I'm working on. Go ahead and join the Discord server. Go ahead and check out the Twitter page. And then with that being said, let's jump right into this Bitcoin analysis. So with Bitcoin, really what I wanted to cover were just the main speaking points of what kind of everybody else is freaking out about. Now, on the shorter time frames, we have had this sell-off, and for whatever reason, even though it's kind of a small one, a lot of people are freaking out, but that's usually how every single correction is going to work. But one of the things that recently happened is one of the ETFs got denied. And so that also had a little bit of fear to play into this. I don't think it necessarily matters, honestly. Whether the ETFs gets approved or whether it doesn't, I think if it's going to get approved, it's going to happen towards the end of the year when the market's up a lot higher, when they can actually use that to leverage short it. That's what I've kind of always thought with the ETF. And so I'm not trying to factor in too many things. What we can see, just plain and simple, is this is actually retesting all-time highs. We've broken past all-time highs and technically made new ones. Even though this is somewhat of a deviation and we weren't able to actually break out, we are at that point where the more times that we're reacting to this, the weaker that level is going to get. And so we could definitely see a little bounce in the short term. We could go a little bit lower in here. But regardless, I do fully expect that we're going to be seeing Bitcoin break out as we get closer towards the end of the year. I think we're going to see a lot of new money coming into here. And so this is nothing to really be worried about. It's never anything to cause a lot of panic. The big thing for us is just going to be holding, you know, whatever the volatility is going to do. Whatever news comes out that creates more volatility, you know, we just got to make sure that we stay level-headed in those situations so that we don't get stuck, you know, making irrational decisions, losing a lot of money that we didn't need to. Had we had just stuck to our plan, had patience, held to the end of the year, it's going to set us up for the best long-term profit possible. So with that being said, guys, I want to talk to you guys about the two NFT projects on today's list. These are two that I've talked about a lot on this channel. I fully expect these to do very well over the next month and a half as we get closer towards the end of the year timeframes as NFTs as a whole take off, because these have been inside of a bear market. NFTs as a whole have been in somewhat of a bear market. Now, some of them have continued to do well. There are outliers inside of any sort of market, but for the most part, a lot of NFTs have been down significantly. The big ones that we talked about, they've been in somewhat of a bear market. And one of my favorite ones that I used to talk about a lot, one that I work with personally, is EcoFi. And one of the things I do love about the EcoFi chart is how much it forms just similarly to what we've seen in many other prior market cycles that I've actually made a lot of money off of. Market cycles that have gone up a lot because they've been around a lot longer than EcoFi. And what that kind of is this classic example of a market cycle. And this is kind of what we see in a lot of markets when they first get added to exchanges. And what that is basically they make a listing pump and then they fall to one more new low after making that listing pump, right? So big picture, what this did was it basically just formed a big ABC, right? And so with that being said, we accumulated sideways for a long period of time until eventually we did get our first impulse inside of this cycle. That's where we saw our first amount of new volume, new money that came into this market. And what this also saw was a breakout of all of our major descending resistance. And so shortly after that, is where we go into that correction inside of Bitcoin. Market bleeds. We've been in a consolidation ever since then. And so a lot of people have been kind of asking me since we've had another sell-off, if I think this is a dead project, why I haven't talked about it. And so I did want to cover it today because I don't actually think that this is anything close to dead. And what we're doing right now is actually giving us a great opportunity to buy more. And so that was actually my plan, was to buy more EcoFi. So it wasn't technically the first day that I could actually stake my eco, but it was like day 3 that I jumped in there. I can't remember what I was doing, but I actually missed out on like 3 days. But I did manage to jump in and stake my eco. I'm earning Sprout. I've earned over 20,000 Sprout in the meantime. And so I was actually looking to add more, not necessarily to stake, but just as some to have inside the market that I could trade. And so if you guys are watching for a market that is an undervalued NFT project, something that could really take off big as we get closer to the end of the year, my belief on EcoFi is simply why I believe it's going to do so well is because it's literally an NFT marketplace. So imagine OpenSea or Rarible or something like that. But then imagine being able to take the native token of that, which doesn't exist on OpenSea. Rarible does have one. But imagine being able to take a token associated with an NFT marketplace and then being able to stake that and then earn yield for that basically allows you to mint NFTs inside of the marketplace. It's like free money, more or less. Just by staking the token, you get earned yield that you can then buy NFTs with. And so for me, that's why I've always thought EcoFi was so cool. And they've already started fractionalizing fine arts, cool things like that. But big picture, what we're seeing with NFTs is going to be music. What we see with NFTs is going to be any sort of personal documentation that we need records of. That's where we're going to see a lot of NFTs come in, solve a major purpose. And so places like EcoFi that are a central point for many different NFT marketplaces to spawn, I think that this thing's going to take off in a big way. And it's got a very small market cap as it stands. And so with that, we know that if we go to the all-time highs, it's almost a 3.5x. It's actually over 3.5x. And so where I think that we go big picture inside of this cycle is actually going to be a move upwards of $50. And I have already came out and said that I think we could see 100 to 1,000, depending on how much hype comes into the market, guys. With this being the end of the year, you never know which ones are just going to randomly take off. And so while that's a very high price target to actually target for just a short period of time, it is a possibility, and I have seen it happen inside of markets. Certain ones get a random narrative attached to them. Certain ones get enough hype generated, and they can just explode to levels you just never would have thought possible in such short periods of time. And I believe that Shiba Inu is a prime example of that. The amount of market cap it has, how quickly it was able to amass that market cap, those type of things happen towards the end of the cycles. And so I don't think 1,000 is going to be likely by any means. That's a really high thing to get. But I mean, that would only be a few billion in market cap. And so with these NFT projects, it's more than possible to happen. And so I do believe, though, that the 2618 will get met, which is going to be over $50. I very easily think that we could extend these fib targets, go upwards of the 3 to the 4236, which is going to be taking us pretty close to $100. I think that that is definitely a realistic possibility with this one. With what they're doing, they've already came out and had a ton of partnerships. And so because of that, I'm really confident more than ever. And that's why I was actually planning on buying some more. So check out EcoFi, guys. Links are going to be in the description if you guys do want to actually research into them a little bit more. Now, the next one on today's list is one I've talked about a lot in prior videos, and that's Curate. I like Curate. I think that the chart looks phenomenal. I believe that once again with the whole NFT narrative, like I was talking about with Eco, I do believe that we're going to see the same thing play out inside of Curate. And Curate, in my opinion, is actually a little bit further ahead. We've seen this one actually make a higher high. It's made its first impulse already, and we're actually taking off again. Now, on the daily time frames, what we can see here is the potential of this being a retest to the previous all-time, well, I should say the previous high. It could definitely go back within the bounds of this previous high. I wouldn't be surprised if we did fall back down towards, $3.95, something like that. But it's not necessarily a big deal in my mind because where we're going to see this thing go on the upside is going to be a lot higher. Like I've stated in prior videos, the reason why I do think this one's so bullish is because we've literally only made a one wave. This entire move was only our first set of 3 impulse waves. And then what we recently had finished was our ABC back down. So we've only ever finished a one wave. So we should expect to see, this next move to get very parabolic. Anytime you get a 3-wave impulse, it's going to take off in a big way. And depending on what we see at the end of the year, the wave 5 could be even bigger. These are the ones that have low market caps. They have a lot of room for upside potential. They have a lot of volume. They're doing cool things inside of the market. And so for that, I always thought that it was worth the risk. That's why I've actually bought Curate. I originally started buying Curate all the way back over to here. It's all the way back at the first of this year, somewhere right around spring. And EcoFi, you guys already know, I've been talking about this one for forever, since even pre-days before this launch, when we even had the old launch. We've been doing this one for a long time, and I think that this one's building a lot more momentum than people give it credit for. They've had a lot of cool partnerships, and so for that, I'm bullish on these two. I think you guys should check them out. One final thought on Bitcoin. Expect that there can be a lot of volatility, even if we come all the way back down and retest like 59K. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. None of the short-term price action matters for me personally because I do expect big picture we're just going to be taking off in a massive way, especially now that we're right at those all-time highs. As soon as we flip those, once we can get above about 70K, that's going to be the point where we're going to see Bitcoin take off, go into extreme FOMO. That's when we're going to see a lot of the other altcoins take off in a big way, and it's going to be exciting times. I'm excited to see you guys make a lot of money in the process. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it actually plays out as we get closer towards, December timeframes. With that being said, guys, if you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or download my free ebook, links are going to be provided for you in the description as well. On top of that, if you guys want to check out my private VIP inside of the Discord, you guys are going to be able to follow all the trades that I take, see what I'm doing with my money, see all of my extra analysis that I do inside of the market, NFT picks, all of that fun stuff if you guys do want to see all of that. But most importantly, in my opinion, what we're actually gearing up for, you already know, is the bear market. We're getting ready for taking profits. And so if you guys do want to see how I'm going to be doing that as we get closer towards that time frame, as well as how I'm diversifying profits in the bear market, what new markets am I going to be venturing into, all of that fun stuff, lifetime membership for the people that enter it. On top of that, you're getting stock access, all of that fun stuff. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.